Do you have a custom guitar? One that you spec'd out and had built to your exact preference? For most of you, I suspect the answer to that is going to be no, and I also suspect the reason for that is because a custom guitar would cost you 2 months of your rent. And that's understandable. Custom builds are worth the money, especially for professional musicians, since you really don't want your instrument to get in the way of the task at hand, playing it. But not everybody has that kind of cash to drop on an object. But I was recently approached by a company called Iron Label Guitars, a relatively new and budget-friendly guitar brand based in the US, building in Vietnam. They sell directly through Reverb, as a lot of newer brands tend to do because it's such a well-populated marketplace already, and besides their production models, which they've just released the second batch of, they now offer a custom shop, which is insane. So of course, I got to spec one out, and I'm going to show it to you. Full disclosure, I got this guitar free of charge, but I'm not receiving payment for this video, and if you think at this point, with a guitar collection of this size, I'm going to be bribed with a $900 guitar, well then that's really your problem. So this is what I spec'd out. Very clearly, this is a BC Rich Stealth shape, all the body, beautiful flamed maple top with a trans green finish, 5-piece mahogany maple combo neck through by the way, not set or anything, and look at that fucking back. Ebony fretboard, 24 stainless steel jumbo frets, regular 25.5-inch scale, string through tunematic, locking tuners, bone nut, and perhaps most importantly, bridge pickup only. I'm gonna repeat something here. $900, and I spec'd this thing out fully. That is groundbreaking shit. And this not only looks amazing, but I swear it plays like a $1,500 guitar, at least. If I had to compare this to anything else, I'd say it's closest in playability and build quality to like a Korean-made Schecter between $1,000 to $2,000. Really, besides the pickup in it, which is also fine but like not outstanding, it's sort of very close to anything coming out of world music in Korea in that price range. This is built fucking masterfully. I hadn't tried one of these before getting this one, and I was expecting it to be on par with a decent Harley Benton, but that I would move on from it pretty quick. And I am a big fan of Harley Bentons in the budget sector. However, I would throw 6 Harley Bentons in the bin to have one of these. Holy shit. Like, I'm sorry, in case you think I'm lying because I got it for free, look at the fucking back. Now, what's wrong with it? I usually scrutinize everything that comes across my bench down to the finest details, and especially something that's made to order in this price range has gotta have some flaws, right? Well, yes, but they are all entirely cosmetic and very limited. A tiny little tool mark on the back of the headstock, which, given how close it is to the tuner screw, I assume was just somebody slipping with a screwdriver. One of the string ferrules is mismatched just slightly. It took me a while to notice that, but now that I did, it's definitely there. And it gets a little messy around where the neck joins the body. That's it. 90% of the flaws this thing has could be summed up into they need to learn to buff out shallow scratches a bit better. None of these are stuff that we haven't seen Gibson do on a guitar that costs 4 times as much though. The bottom left horn, or at least the top wood on it, I'm not sure if it's the entire thing or just the maple top, is also a different piece of wood, which I wouldn't really describe as a flaw, but rather just has the maple cap blank not being big enough for a body style this huge. If somebody else had ordered, say a standard single cut with this top wood, that wouldn't have happened because, it doesn't expand this far. But nothing is cracked, nothing is damaged, it plays beautifully, it arrived intonated, and the stock pickup sounds pretty great too. Given how much I love playing it, I will probably put a Seymour Duncan or something in it at some point, just for that slightly more saturated sound, But this is not a bad sounding pickup at all. I probably wouldn't record an album with it, but I don't see why you couldn't play a gig with it. And this is one of the most annoying things about online reviews, but I can't let you try the guitar to bring across just how fucking good it plays. This Iron Label feels on par with anything that I own, short of my Kiesel's Aviator and Hufschmidt. And I didn't even spec this thing out to the max. I wanted fairly simple standard woods, green finish, and one pickup. These motherfuckers offer custom options like full Pale Moon Ebony tops, not just fretboards, full solid tops. And the guitars are still far under $1,000. The ordering process is quite simple. You basically just get a sheet that you fill out with your desired specs. If there's anything extra, like custom inlays, as long as you have a vector file of the inlay shape and it's not too intricate to be carved into wood, it is doable. Stainless steel frets are standard on these, and considering that brands like Dunable, whose bottom tier price for a custom build is like $3,200, just started using those, I'm gonna have to reiterate again, $900. One thing that you shouldn't expect is name brand electronics and hardware. Iron Label does occasionally have a production model with EMGs, but those aren't a custom option because they don't get single sets for OEM pricing. Just give them the magnet type, ceramic, Alnico, whatever, and high or low output, and you won't be disappointed with the sound. Also, don't expect Grover, Schala, Hipshot, or a German Floyd Rose. I probably shouldn't have to say that, but I probably do. They have high-quality copies of most bridge and tuner styles that you could want, and I'm pretty sure that their option for a Floyd Rose is actually a Floyd Rose Special, as opposed to the cheap licensed one. As a whole, though, this is kind of a game changer. Everybody wants at least one custom build in their collection, because rarely does a stock factory guitar suit your exact tastes. There's always going to be something wrong with it. I could have bought a single pickup BC Rich Stealth on Reverb years ago for probably also under $1,000, but it would have been black, and it would have had diamond inlays and that horrible wraparound bridge. But I wanted a green maple top, no inlays, and a string-through tunematic. Is that a build that I would have been prepared to pay a master luthier $3 or $4 for? Absolutely not. But is a $3,000 guitar 3 times better than this one? Fuck no. This is crazy. The only thing that I would want to improve about this, if there was anything, is I would give it a slightly higher quality bridge, I would put a Seymour Duncan in it, and maybe change the pot out because this one isn't the fastest, and I like stuff like, for example, the Yngwie Malmsteen signature speed pots because those are just very nice to use. But I think what I actually might do to this one is just put a latching kill switch on it, because for a single pickup, I really don't need a volume knob. I'm not going to use anything between 0 and 10. This is not a limited offer. There are no plans to raise the prices, and the features that you can get for the price, despite each one being a one-off, are unrivaled. The fretwork is fucking immaculate. These are polished to a mirror finish. The fret ends do not stick out one bit. They are rounded off beautifully. The nut slots aren't cut too deep. The biggest flaw that I can genuinely think of is that the truss rod cover is slightly too long, and so it doesn't really sit flush on here, but it kind of leaves a little bit of gap underneath it. Who gives a shit about that? Nobody. I'm telling you, I've had this thing for about 2 weeks now, and I've intentionally played it for that long before even sitting down to record anything with it, because I really, really, really wanted to see if there was anything wrong with this for like what it is, which is a $900 custom build, before I give you an honest recommendation. And in that time, it's just become my go-to guitar that I reach for whenever I sit down to just noodle or practice. I will say it arrived with a very dry fretboard, like I had to apply about 3 coats of D'Addario hydrate that just seeped in as if it was a sponge before the 4th one actually coated it and actually, properly left a hydrating layer on top. But once I had done that, and I'd put my preferred gauge of string on, which was not the 10s that it came with, but rather 9.5 to tune this thing to D standard, I was about as in love as you can be with a guitar. This thing is absolutely everything that I would have wanted out of my dream stealth, and if you've been around on my channels for a while, that I've always wanted a stealth. I have a long and fruitful history of shitting all over BC Rich, and that's the reason that I don't have one currently, because I just kind of don't want to own a BC Rich. But I love this thing, and I guarantee none of you, not a single one of you, would guess that this is even close to $900 if I gave it to you to just try blindly. I firmly believe that most people with any degree of guitar industry knowledge would pick this up and think that it came out of World Music Korea and costs roughly $1,200, $1,500, maybe $1,600. If it was a production guitar for $1,600, I would be a bit put off by the minor cosmetic flaws, that's for sure. But since it is built to order and costs half of what the watch on my wrist costs, this is crazy. There is a Reverb affiliate link to the Iron Label Reverb shop in case you want one from their current batch. I don't get paid by Iron Label for that, but rather by Reverb directly, so they are not giving me any money. And I will leave a link right below that one in the description and pinned comment that takes you right to where you can get the sheet to place your own custom order. Any shape that you want, any configuration that you want, for what is honestly the best guitar that you will ever touch in this price range. I'm not kidding. I've never played a $900 guitar that played this well. I'm not saying I've never touched a guitar that's played this good, but I've never played one that's outclassed it in this price range at all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Iron Label for making my dream of a green stealth come true. I'm gonna go play some death riffs on this that I couldn't play during this video because I want to make some ad revenue off of it, and I'll see you around.